Okay, good morning, everybody. I hope everybody is having an incredible fall. Man, the leaves in Colorado are absolutely gorgeous. And it's getting crisp and cool in the morning. Today, we're going to talk about Director 300. And I know that there's a people that have built a Director 300 and above business right here on the line. And so we're going to pick your brains today. But really want the focus to be the idea that you can build a Director 300 business and above in this business is the key to this business. So if you are on this phone call today to learn something that's going to help you build a stronger business, earn some extra money, make sure that the money that you're making is going to continue to come in on a weekly basis, and you're honing your skills, then Director 300 is the place to do it. So when you think about it, a very small percentage of people that become associates with ASEA are going to go diamond, right? A very small percentage. But there's a large percentage of people that are going to build Director 300 businesses. So you can kind of define how strong your business is by how many Director 300 legs you have. And if you're not only able to go Director 300 yourself, but teach your team to do the same thing. So, most people that join ASEA do ASEA as a side hustle. They don't do it as their full-time gig. So those people are learning, looking to earn, less money. Of course, they would take more money, but they're not willing to take the time or rearrange their life to earn, to do what it takes to build a big business. So they're just, squeezing in ASEA when it's convenient or whatever, and they may earn $500 a month or $500 a week. Okay, so we're not talking massive amounts of money, but we're talking about enough money that can supplement a lifestyle and take a load off, take stress off of having to buy groceries, of having to, being able to go out to dinner once in a while, being able to go on a trip. So that's the kind of money that we're talking about. And that's the kind of money that many, many people, the masses, are looking, to earn because they're not willing to do what it takes to build a massive network marketing organization. And a lot of people just don't have the interest. So when you're talking to people out there about ASEA, they've really got three choices if they're interested in ASEA, right? They can, I mean, and you can put your feedback in the chat. But they really have a choice to become an associate and earn some extra money and help us get the word out, right? Or they can become a customer, just enjoy the product, right? Or they can pass on the whole thing. So our job is not convincing them to do what we want them to do. Our job is to ask them questions and really understand what they're looking for and then help them make the decision that's right for them, right? So when you become an associate, you have to, it's very low cost to get in, right? And then you activate your account with a personal order, very organic. And then the next step is to become binary qualified. So if you're binary qualified right now in your business, would you please put a BQ in the comments in the chat? Put a BQ if you're binary qualified. Because when you were, a lot of people ask me, who am I supposed to, work with? This is going to sound harsh, but you don't work with the people that need you. You work with the people who deserve your time. So how do you decide who deserves your time? Well, if somebody is binary qualified or they call you with an effort to become binary qualified because they want your help and your coaching to help them build their team, then that's the first step to building an ASEA business because you're sponsoring your first two associates, right? One on the right side, one on the left side, who make you binary qualified. And so you have the beginning of your two legs so you can begin to earn team commissions, which come from building a Director 300 business. So if somebody not only becomes an associate, because money is easy to spend. I mean, it's not hard to become an associate. You spend the money, boom, you buy the product, boom, you're there. So, but becoming binary qualified is a key indicator. And then if you're helping those, if you're duplicating that, helping those people become binary qualified, you're going to be pretty close to Director 300. So this is really a whole new category of leadership. So when somebody becomes Director 300 themselves, that's really defining. Like, look, they are doing what it takes to build this business, and they are moving ahead in the positive way. And now the next step as their coach or as the business builder is to help them duplicate that process, not only get paid as Director 300 week after week after week after week, but also teach their binary qualified people underneath them to do the same thing. So if you have built a Director 300 business, would you please put D300 in the chat? And congratulations if you have, because that's really, a key thing. Now, if your lifetime rank is not only Director 300, but if you're continually paid on a weekly basis as Director 300, then put weekly in the chat. So if it's not only your lifetime rank, or maybe your lifetime rank is Director 700, or maybe it's bronze, but you're getting paid weekly as Director 300, Director 300, Director 300, Director 300. No matter what, you get paid a minimum of Director 300. So if you've done that, please put weekly in the chat. And I hope you don't feel bad about that. If your lifetime rank is higher than your current pay rank, but your current pay rank is at least Director 300 every week, then that's a critical component. Okay. And that's where the focus is going come January. Okay. ASEA is realizing that this is our core rank, that if people don't have Director 300 legs, if they're not personally not getting paid as Director 300 and above, and if they're not teaching their team to do the same thing, then this is the stumbling block in the ASEA compensation plan. So refining this skill and really getting good at going Director 300 and helping your team to do the same thing is a critical point moving forward. And the more you refine the skill, the more you're going to be rewarded financially. So, okay. So now if you have not only built a Director 300 business, but you have Director 300 legs underneath you. So you've helped your team, you've taught your team to do the same thing. You've built or you've found people that figure it out or whatever you've done. But not only are you Director 300 and above, but you've got Director 300 legs underneath you. Write, just write dupe, for duplication. Put DUPE in the chat. Okay, awesome. That's really, really, really awesome. Okay, and then the last question I have for you, if you've not only gone Director 300 and above, you've duplicated that in your organization, so you have different Director 300 legs underneath you. I want you to write the number of Director 300 legs that you have in your business in the chat. So you have one leg, two legs, three legs, four legs, 15 legs, 50 legs, however many Director 300 legs you have underneath you, write that in the chat. So remember, you need two Director 300 legs for bronze, three for silver, four for gold, five for platinum, six for diamond, seven for double diamond, and seven for triple diamond. So to go to the top of the compensation plan, you really need, good for you, Elizabeth, 7+. That's awesome. Now remember, and I just wanted, I was thinking this morning, for those of you who are really health conscious and really are taking ASEA on a regular basis, not because you have some horrible diagnosis, but because you don't want to have some horrible diagnosis, I sometimes it's hard to measure what it's doing for us, and it's really taking a leap of faith, spending this money every month, knowing it's doing something for us from a scientific level. Well, I have to say that when we went to the convention this year, and I don't know how if you were there, right? I was there in the chat. If you were at the convention this year and you looked around at the ASEA associates that were there, it was so wonderful to see everybody's faces because people look so young. I mean, people keep getting younger and younger and healthier looking. And so I don't know what's going on the inside of their body if they have people telling them stuff or whatever. But Melanie, I see that you agree. When you look around, I just kept looking at people's skin and their eyes and their fingernails and their smiles and their, you know, everybody, it's just so reinforcing to know what this product is doing for people at the cellular level. And so when you really, really know that in your bones, then rejection becomes a lot easier because you're not you're telling the truth. You know it's hard to digest. You know it's hard to explain. We're doing our best, sending them a video so that they, kind of get an idea of what redox signaling is all about. But anyway, this is not an easy road, but it's a worthy road, and we can figure it out together. The other thing I wanted to mention was that if you're trying to do this by yourself, you're doing it wrong. And it's not because you're not incredibly powerful. It's because that's not the way this is built. This is built as a team sport, and people need different perspectives. So, introducing people to different videos and different people on the phone and just giving them different perspectives is going to solidify their opinion about ASEA, and then they can decide whether they want to become a customer and associate or whether they want to pass on the whole thing. So, I wanted those of you who have built Director 300 businesses and have Director 300 legs underneath you, if you could raise your hand, I just want to get a conversation going with you and just kind of understand what you did to get that going. So, um, Elizabeth, I know you have 7+ Director 300 legs, so maybe we'll start with you. It's hard for me to,
Sure.
yeah. So tell me, and I know it's early in the morning and, cameras are tricky first thing, so don't worry about not having your camera on. But you've got 7+ Director 300 legs, right?
I do. They
Okay.
vary. Like Shoshana said in the chat, some weeks I have all seven, some weeks I have less, some weeks I have more. It just depends on who's working when, and we meet people where they're at, right?
Right.
And so the first step is to help them understand that they need to have their subscription set solidly and consistently. And then after that, when they have preferred customers, 50% of that volume is going to go to their lesser leg and create some volume toward their Director 300. And that's great with preferred customers. And then, of course, they want to be binary qualified. They want to have somebody on the left that's an associate that's actually sharing, and somebody on the right that's an associate that's actually sharing. And then once they have 300 volume on the left and the right, they're going to hit that week Director 300. And we can work toward that. When we look at their back office, virtual office on Tuesday, maybe Monday, and say, okay, it looks like you're not going to quite hit it this week. Who do you want to share with? And make a goal and get sharing.
That's right. That's right. So I love so many things about what you said. Number one is that you don't need 7 legs right now in this point in your business, but you have 7+ Director 300 legs. That's because you are taking responsibility for your business and you know that all your pistons aren't firing at the same time. So at least you have enough pistons firing to make your engine go, right? So
Right.
that's really, really key is to cover your bases because we're not twisting people's arms, making them do something that they're not going to do. You can't push a rope. We can't force people to do something that they're not willing to do. It's their business. It's not our business. So, so just keep that in mind. It's good to have more than you need. And so you don't have to feel like you have to twist people's arms or get people to do something. That's not what this business is about. So, and you brought up another great point is that our personal volume to be qualified, at 100 from Director 700 and below, and then as soon as we get bronze, it's 200 personal volume every 5 weeks. Remember, that's not a weekly requirement. That's every 5 weeks that personal volume has to be there. And it's not just our personal purchases. It's also our retail customers and our preferred customers that add to that personal volume to keep us active so that our points accumulate and carry over so that we can get paid on them in the future. So that's where the points come from. Just a side note clarification. But and then the group volume is from the associates, and then their customers, contribute to their PV, which you get paid on as their upline. They don't get paid on their personal orders, but they get paid on their customer orders. Um, anyway, so um, so as you're building this organization, if you are really listening to what people want, you'll know if you still are looking for business builders and if a person, just because a person is an associate does not mean they're a business builder. They don't become a business builder until they're binary qualified. And they really don't become a business builder. I guess on paper they become a business builder. If they're one of these people that can build a business without you, with or without you, fantastic. You've just found somebody that you're going to be
Right
able to
on.
leverage your time with. Absolutely. But not everybody knows what to do, and people want coaching. So if somebody calls you and their quest is really to become binary qualified, you know that their quest is to become, is to build a business. One thing is when you start to talk to people about business or about vision, you're going to find business builders. If you're only talking about the product, you're going to find a lot of customers. So if you're frustrated, I mean, and if you can show people how this product creates an incredible opportunity, if you're structuring your conversation like that, or if that's how you feel about this business, you will find business builders, but it'll be slower. If you're more
I have,
direct and people are
oh,
clear about what you're looking for, then they know, they can decide whether they want to be involved in what you're asking them to do or not. Yeah.
right. I jumped in on you, Cindy. I'd love to share one more thing if that would be
Sure.
okay.
Sure.
Okay, so about this meeting people where they're at, it's a two-way street and it's all about respect and communication. So if you respect that your sponsor sponsored you and has given you some tools, maybe they're a business builder, maybe they're not. If they're not, you want to go to them and you want to say, I've made a decision. I'm going to make a goal of making Director 300 every week from now until the end of the year, from now until February, whatever it is. And then you want to say, are you a business builder that can give me those tools and lead me to what I need? Or is there somebody else you would recommend? Maybe it's Mal Sword, maybe it's Cindy Buck, maybe it's Tammy Gates, maybe it's the Walkers, whoever it is. You're going to choose somebody to follow what they've put online, what they put in the CA United, Denny's advice, the units on the Facebook group are great, those kind of things, so that you can engage and move forward. It's your business. You're not waiting around for somebody else to tell you what to do. You're going and getting that information.
That's right. And I would just tweak that a little bit because I wouldn't go to them and say, I've decided, I would go to them and say, I've decided to go Director 300 this week. And are you willing to do this to help me? Okay. The only thing I'd tweak about that is I would say, I've decided to go Director 300 this week. I think we can do it together. The only way that I can reach Director 300 this week is by helping other people, get binary qualified. I just want to know, are you interested in working towards getting binary qualified this week? Is that something that sounds exciting to you? Okay.
Well,
It's not
that's
about me
awesome.
going Director 300. It's about me helping you and seeing if that piece of the puzzle interests you because you can leverage my time this week because we've got similar goals. We've got synergy. We can move together. So let's talk to somebody else who has
Okay.
built a Director 300 business and has Director 300 legs underneath them. Remember, the Director 300 legs come from your sponsorship tree, not from your binary tree. So you can have 100 Director 300 legs. So, as opposed, it's not one on your right, one on your left. It's not like, the team commission's part of the plan. This is the sponsorship tree. So you can have lots and lots of Director 300 legs, and they might not, like Elizabeth said, they might not always qualify every single week. So it's good to have some spares. And some people, I mean, people make it in this business to different places. So some people will become associates and do nothing. Some people will become associates and get binary qualified, but they won't reach Director 300. There are other people that will get direct to Director 300, but they can't seem to help other people get to Director 300. And so that's where they'll sit. And they'll qualify as Director 300 some weeks and not other weeks, right? And then there are people that will teach their team to do the same thing. And not only will they get paid as Director 300, but occasionally they'll get paid as Director 700, right? So, who else on this phone call is a business builder who's built a Director 300 and above business, who's also taught their team to do the same thing and has other Director 300 legs underneath them? Are you guys, has anybody else done that on this call, or are we pretty much at the very beginning where we're still working towards Director 300 ourselves? If you,
Cindy, this is David.
yeah, David, hey, Platinum, Mr.
I'm not real chatty today, but anyway, we've got typically five, maybe we'll hit seven, maybe once in a rare time we drop to four active 300s. But our legs are famous, are fabulous. And so I agree, you are so articulate. I absolutely agree. And that is foundational to what becoming a D300 is. You have to understand it. And so you're going through it normal speed, but that may not be how they assimilate it. So I think at this point, it's good for them to realize they maybe should print that compensation summary and put it under their pillow until it becomes second nature. And they're not going to get it in the middle of their dreams. They have to read it.
Yeah, absolutely. But
And so understanding that, so it is foundational. Elizabeth did a good job at articulating, and she obviously gets it. But years ago, she didn't, of course, because we all start somewhere. I didn't get it at the beginning, but I think that is where I see it's not innate to people. So they start giving away sponsorships. They don't get how it's not detrimental, but it's not great for their business. It is sort of detrimental. So when they sign up people under other people, they're likely to be really slow at even hitting consistent D300 legs because they're not themselves even binary and they're not D300s themselves. So
yeah,
passing that on is foundational. And then you can work down legs. You got to build the foundation, getting wide before you are getting deep.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I know that, there we have our Director 300 legs have been our Director 300 legs for 16 years now. We've been in this business for going on 16 years. And, we've sponsored a lot of people, but those very beginning people who saw this, who found people who saw this, who found people who saw this, who found people who saw this, who love this product, may not even be building the business anymore, but they are not going to stop taking this product. And so those legs continue to qualify as Director 300 for years and years upon years upon years. Okay. This is, 15 years in the running. And so, and people slow down, people get distracted. They have life stuff that happens. They get tired of doing this, whatever happens. Right. And some people, but having those consistent Director 300 legs, people who really appreciate this company, this humanitarian project, and this product, they're not going to go off the product. So, as we get older and, I don't know who can live on a Social Security check because I can't, so if you want, that's where this extra money really comes in handy. And we're not talking about diamond extra money. We're talking about extra money that, just lets you breathe easier. So, and I was going to, when people think about building a business, it doesn't have to feel heavy and clunky and serious and boring and difficult and confusing. it can be a fun project that we're doing together, like, hey, I found this, this company. It's really got, some merit, and we're both getting older. None of us are getting out of this alive. So, why don't we invest in this together? We'll have some fun. We'll spend some time together. We'll find some other fun people that might want to work on this project together with us. We'll get together every once in a while and, have a great time, and it'll be fun. That's the kind of project that I want to join. I don't need to care about this leg and that leg and binary qualified, and I don't know, Cindy. You just do that. I'm just going to introduce you to Ruth, you know? So you don't have to know all the behind the scenes workings, unless, I mean, if you're not working with somebody who understands it, you better understand it yourself. And David, I completely agree. It completely, frees up brain cells to understand it yourself. But make this fun. Remember that we attract people and things on the same vibration that we're on. So if we're on a low vibration, we're going to attract everything that's in that vibration. And if we're higher and, sharper and abundant and whatever, we're going to attract things that are on that frequency. And those people, those things, those experiences are much more fun than the things that are down here. You know what I mean? So, work on your state and get to a place, work on the 6 inches between your ears, and, have confidence in yourself. I hope you feel worthy of the money that you're earning. I hope you feel that this project is worthy of your time. I can look at it from lots of different angles, but, is any, but thank you, David. And I was going to say that, Bo and I used to sleep with a compensation plan before we went to bed every single night. In the very beginning, he would read the plan and I would draw the plan, because I think differently than he does. He can read left to right, and that makes sense in his mind. I have to draw circles and put names in places, and oh, that's how it, okay. So however you learn, however it makes sense to you, put it on paper, but, and figure out this animal so it's not so foreign to you. We're not taught this in college. So is there one more person that wants to speak up, who has not only gone Director 300, but built Director 300 legs underneath them? Anybody else want to speak up before we wrap up the call this morning? I know, Deanna, I know you've got Director 300 legs underneath you, don't you?
Yes, I do.
So come on, shy girl, tell us a little
Uh,
about, like, where did you find these people? How did you go
well,
about it?
I think everybody has probably been in a previous, network marketing company. I think that's fairly common. And you develop relationships with people, whether they were financially connected to you or not. The connection that you make with people is what leads them to come with you on certain new adventures. So a lot of the people that I brought in were past associates in other companies, and many of them are just consumers, but they're just as important to me as someone who does want to build, and honoring the space that they're at. And so that's how I started. And I'm on social media as well. So that's where I kind of started my space and how I met all these people, actually. I wouldn't have met them if I wasn't doing a business online. So, just learning how to attract people to you, and it's all about the energy that you put out is what the people are going to be attracted to. And so having a positive outlook, but still grounded. I don't, there's so much fakeness out there. Being authentic to who you are is very important because people will see bullshit very quickly. And so that's kind of how I put out myself to people, because I only want authentic people coming to me. So.
Absolutely. So good. So good, Deanna. If you can find people that are open to this distribution method of network marketing, you are going to save yourself a lot of time, because those people know other people who are open to this distribution method, who know other people who know other people. And those people tend to move faster than people who have never done this before. None of us were born network marketers, or all of us were born network marketers, depending on how you look at it. But if people have some experience, just because somebody has been in a network marketing company before doesn't mean they've built. So don't make that mistake. You might want to ask them, have you built a team before, or have you just been a part of this company or that company? That just might be good clarification at some point. But I bet if we went through, in fact, let's do it in the chat real quick before we wrap this up this morning. If you have been in other network marketing companies prior to ASEA, then put MLM in the chat. Okay, see, there's a fair amount of people that are open to this distribution method, and they've just been hungry looking for the right company. Look at all those people. Okay, so that's a clue. That might be part of your pre-qualifying questioning. When you're out there in the world and you're talking to people, you might say, "Hey, do you know anybody? You know those companies like Amway or Avon or Tupperware, or, DoTerra, those kind of companies? Do you know anybody that does that kind of thing?" And get some names from people, and just be conversational about it. And it doesn't mean that that company is going to leave, that person is going to leave that company and come to our company. But, there's so many companies that are in disarray. I've been getting an email from somebody that was in the Rodan and Fields company, right? She's been sending me emails for years and years and years. And she just sent me an email because the whole Rodan and Fields thing happened, and she went to a different company. And so people are moving. People are moving. And um, when you start earning money in network marketing, and you start to earn residual income, it's really exciting. It validates the model. And when your team starts duplicating what you've done, and you start earning reproductive residual income, so your business is growing with you or without you, that's when you really start to go, oh my gosh, this model works. It really does work. And then once you've earned a network marketing income, it's very hard to get a job where you're getting paid hour for hour, because you realize what a ripoff it is. So, the more we can show people that this industry is for real. You just have to have the right product, you have to have the right company, you have to have the right compensation plan, you have to have the right culture, you have to have the right timing, you have to have the right coaching, you have to have the right, there's so many things that have to line up, and they all do with ASEA. And let me just leave you with this, that in January, you are going to realize that even more so, that you are with the right company at the right time with the right product. And the fact that we all work, together, very few of you are on my team. I don't earn money from hardly anybody on this call. Okay. But the fact that we all work together to help each other move forward is really, really special in this industry. So I hope you hold your head high. I hope that you are very proud of who you are, what you've built. Don't bash yourself if you feel like your business is too small. You have contributed in a very important way. So and there are really cool people out there that want to be a part of this. They might not even care about the money, but they want to be part of a cool community that is doing a very important humanitarian project in the world. So just keep your antenna up. And if you are going to refine a skill, refine your Director 300 skills, because that's where the business is going come January. It's all about creating a Director 300 factory. So anyway, have a great day, everybody. Thanks so much for being on this call this morning, and we'll see you next Tuesday morning. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Cindy.